Now we can
Yeah.
get into the meat and the content, or the content, the episode, the games of the episode. What am I saying? We're gonna get into the games of the episode, starting with Mouse. Dave, what are your initial thoughts? Do we want to just pull up the trailer?
Yeah, let's go ahead and pull up the trailer. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw this game, I was like, Adam, what did you send me right now? Like what is did Mickey Mouse just go rogue?
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
kind of the first thought I had.
yeah. But I honestly think it looks really cool. So guys, if you're just listening on the Spotify, we're looking at this first person shooter. But it's very much in this like old school film noir, and
Yeah.
I'm about it. I'm
Yeah.
about this. Are you excited for this game?
I'm super excited about this. Like you said, it gives me that like Mickey Mouse gone rogue kind of situation. It's got the rubber banding of like old cartoons, which is cool. The animations look fun. And it's funny that I thought this would be a game that you would be super like into, because it's got a lot of elements of, you played Cuphead, right? And you liked that game.
Love Cuphead. I've
And that's
loved Cuphead.
some of the animations and the designs. I was like, oh, this is like first person Cuphead without all the craziness. Like, it's got craziness, but it doesn't have like those, like the powers and stuff like that. So that's why I was super excited about this one. I was like, oh, Dave might like this. But essentially, like it's like we saw, it's a first person inspired by like noir films and like old time animations. You'll get to play as the detective mouse, and then I think it's gonna be a simple story of like bad guy or bad guys versus cop. I don't think it's gonna be anything groundbreaking in terms of like storyline. So like, but I think it's a good change of pace from what we get nowadays with some of like the intense first person shooters or the over the top. You know what I mean? But for this one, I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you brought that up of the Cuphead style, because it's like when I was watching it, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, this is like if Cuphead made a first person shooter. And as you know, I loved Cuphead. I thought like the animation style was just insane, like so unique and something that like I'd never seen before. And I was like, they should make more games like this. Like I wish they made more games in this style. And yeah, I'm super excited for this one too. Like, congratulations! I think you're 2 for 2 on the last two episodes.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes,
That's cool.
you found a first-person shooter that I am actually excited about. And it's going to be on all consoles. It'll be PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation. So it's right up my alley.
And then a little bit of the gameplay with it. So like you'll have diverse weapons, and like I saw this in like the very original like pre-alpha. Like they didn't have any of the textures in the back or anything. It's just like mechanics of the game, and like so you'll have different weapons and power-ups, different explosives, and so like there's like gonna have like a vending machine, like they can have your power-ups, and like you'll be able to buy your power-ups from vending machines and stuff.
That's
so that's
cool.
I never like played BioShock, but I know like didn't they have that kind of element where you can go up to the vending machine? And like, or Call of Duty Zombies, they had like the vending machines for that kind of stuff. And I think that's so cool. Like I think it's a simple and then you'll have different methods of playing. So like it's not gonna have like a stealth element, but you'll have like ways to like sneak around and like plan your attacks, if that makes sense. So you can either go in there guns blazing, or you can like use your environment and like sneak around and like take out your enemies. So I think that's pretty cool. I just think like overall, I think the animation is like simple, but it also has some good attention to detail. I don't know if you noticed that. So like when he's shooting his revolver and he reloads, like it actually spins and you can see the bullets being put in. So I thought that was really neat. I'm super excited to see what this game is going to become. And like just looking at it from the first ever video they posted, they've come so far from what it was into what it already is. And I'm super excited about this game. Unfortunately, it doesn't come out till 2025, but I just think that just gives them so much more time to make this game like rich of like just fun content, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, and this is kind of like a little bit of an announcement. I know they did an announcement prior, but I think this is kind of like the first like true.
It's like the official one, yeah.
Yeah, because I think that first one, like you said, was a little bit just more about like introducing the mechanics and like, hey, this is a concept. I think this is much more like an announcement, something that's more polished and put together. But yeah, like you said, the animation style is absolutely incredible, and I think that attention to detail was, again, that was like something that you saw in Cuphead, where you were like,
Right.
wow, that's so great. Like, that's so crazy that it's like, it looks kind of basic. And I think because people are seeing something that's like a blast from the past, they kind
Mhm.
of they kind of might write it off like, oh, that was easy. But it's
Right.
like, it's really not, you know what I mean? Like, it would, like,
Yeah.
that type of animation style was just, it was really difficult for the time, and to
Mhm.
recreate that, I think, takes a little bit more effort. Um and I didn't know about the stealth thing. That's kind of cool that you can play it as
Yeah.
stealth. Yeah,
Yeah.
I very much so thought that this was just going to be like a run and gun, get in there and just blast away. So that's kind of
Yeah.
cool that they introduced that other aspect of the game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's gonna make it just it's adds another mechanic to excite other people like about the game. And kind of going off like you said, like there's games that like yes, it looks like a simple concept, but the amount of what they have to do to make that concept come alive, like I think it's so much easier to like just animate something like this, but actually to put it in a playable, like you're controlling that, like there has to be like tons and tons of little elements that like the game developers have to go through and the animators of games like okay, so like in a TV show, I'll just draw and pulling the gun up, but how are
Yeah.
you gonna do that in a video game? Like left trigger, like you have to draw. You know what I mean? Like it's insane on like the simplicity of it, but how much is going into it. I think is really cool to see brought to life, and like to bring something to life like this to make it look good. I think it's insanely hard too. So props to like the developers of this game, and I am super excited about this one.
Yeah, props to the developers. This is Fumi Games, right?
Yep, Fumi Games.
Yeah, yeah. So props to them. I will say though, I think that the success of this title is going to depend very, very much so on the responsiveness of how this game operates.
Hmm.
Because you talked about it a little bit of like, people are going to assume that this is kind of a basic concept, which I get it. It's not going to have a huge story arc. It's a first person shooter, so like the groundwork has been laid. And I think people saw that in Cuphead too, where it's like same kind of thing. It wasn't so much about like a storyline. It looks like it's kind of, just these very specific levels, and it's like
Hmm.
the thing that I really loved most about Cuphead was just that fluidness. It
Hmm.
was, and I talk about this all the time because I play really, I do enjoy playing really, really hard games. And those games are only successful if I feel like I'm not at a disadvantage because of the programming. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
whenever I was playing Cuphead, I always felt like anytime that I got hit or anytime that like I lost, it's like I lost. Like I made the
Right.
mistake. You know what I
Yep.
mean? And I think if they focus very much on making sure that this game controls fluidly and
Hmm.
handles the way that people want it to handle, I think it is going to be very successful.
Hmm. I agree
Yeah.
with that, and just from what we've seen already, I think they're already on the track of doing that. It's easy to sell that in a video that you're not actually playing, but
Yeah.
like to me, like looking at it, it looks like it has that fluidity, and it's like I said, I think it looks good, and it looks like they're on the right track to put something out there that a lot of people are gonna not realize they're gonna love it so much. And like I said, it's a good step away from the norm of like Call of Duty first person shooters, or I've been playing Ready or Not, so like the realistic like police simulators. Like it's gonna be a fun step away from that stuff to play something so simple but really exciting to play.
I have one question though.
I
Do
have one
you
answer.
think do you think that their decision to make this game black and white is going to hinder them?
I don't know. For me, like I'm not a huge like noir fan, like, but I think it works for this game, I guess. Like I think it looks super cool. Like for me, I think it's a novelty thing. I think if it were to be more and more like popular, or what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is like I think it's such a novelty, like a novel thing that like, oh, we haven't played like, well, there's been no games in noir. Like, can you think of like any that were actually good that like off the top of your head?
Um
I haven't played any, so I don't know.
I mean, there's a couple, but there
Yeah.
none that I can think of that went with
Yeah.
like a true black and white noir
Yeah.
sense. Yeah,
because
no.
I know there's a lot of games that like they'll start in color or they'll have a scene where it's in noir. And honestly, when they switch the scene to that noir, like I don't like that. Like you know what I mean? Like there's games where like I'll be playing and it's like this part of the story. Okay, flashback. You're in black and white now. It's like no, I don't like that. Go back. I want to see my colors. But for this game, like having the expectation like from the beginning that it's like inspired by those like 1930s 1930s
Yeah,
TV shows, like I think that sets the stage. Like, don't play it if you don't want to try something new. I think.
yeah. I mean, it's it's very much inspired by like you said the cartoons of the 20s and the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honestly a little bit nervous, and for me, it doesn't mean anything. I actually kind of
Yeah.
like the black and white, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's gonna be a group of people that do like the black and white feel. I mean, it's very vintage. It's very true to the source material.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I can't really think of anything that's gone noir that really took it to this level. Like even going back to Cuphead, Cuphead was
Yeah.
probably the closest thing to like this style of noir.
Mm-hmm.
And they went full color. So
Right.
I don't know. It makes me a little bit nervous, and I hope people can look past the black and white aspect of it, and give it a shot because, like we said, I do think it's going to be a really good game. But unfortunately, I do think there's going to be a group of people, specifically the newer generation, that kind of just look at it and are like, "Nah, like
Nah. No.
nah, brah."
I think it's hard to say because or what they could do is like have an update or DLC is like a color refresh. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool. Like we can turn it on and off. Or have a DLC where it is like sequel and then or like it's a sequel to it. It's like 5 years later and we got color in our game now. Like I don't know. Imagine like that. But I can see what you're saying. Like I think it's not going to appeal to a lot of people, but I also think it's going to appeal to a good amount on the other side too. So
I'm definitely excited for it. I'm definitely
yeah.
going to play this game. I think it looks great. I hope like we said the fluidity is there because I think that's really going to make or break the game. And I hope people can can get past the black and white and at least, give it a shot cuz it's not like I said it's not really a huge deal to me. I actually kind of like it. I think they did an amazing job sticking with the traditional art style and just really showing love to that, to that period and that genre. But yeah, unfortunately, I do think there's going to be a little group of people that just kind of look at it and are just like black and white, like
nah, not for me.
Nah,
Although,
not
like
happening.
reading the comments, the amount of comments that were there, so much positive. So that's exciting sign too. Like when I was reading comments, because I do that when I'm doing some of my research just to see what the general vibe of like what the game is going to be. And it was overwhelmingly positive. So that's cool. That's a good sign. So this is on my wish list already. First game on my wish list of 2024, which is going to be a 2025 game, but it's on my wish list. So I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, super excited about it as well. And congratulations again to Adam for finding a first-person shooter that I actually care about. You are slowly but surely converting me into an FPS fan.